Peace YouTube. This is Florboon coming to you today to discuss a new topic of discussion about nature. Isn't it beautiful? Sitting on this old oak swing. I love this swing. It's like an old oak swing. Anyhow, I'm sorry. Oh, it's a beautiful day. I just wanted to talk to my sea stars. I really want you to start to think deeply about your choices. There is a lot of covert, underhanded activity going on, unbeknown to you. And in order to change and evolve, you have to acknowledge what's already occurring or what's happening. Many of you know that blood sacrifices are made. There are people in occults that do it on a very mundane level and do it on a high level of, a satanic or occult practices. Occult just means hidden. There's all types of belief systems and systems underneath the occult. But I want you to really realize that you may be making covenants and contracts with entities and people and groups that you don't even know you're affiliated with, or that they're utilizing your lack of acknowledgement that they're existing, and they're utilizing your energy and having you partake in ritual activities without your knowledge or your consent, your overt consent. You consent by participating in it, but I'm going to blow some spots on that. There's a big industry in the tattooing industry. A lot of people are getting tattoos. There's a lot of shows right now highlighting tattoos, especially to the melanated community. There were quite a few high-profile people who engage in getting tattoos. And just to let you know, tattoos can be a wonderful expression of whatever symbol you're trying to utilize to convey something that's special to you, what have you. But you do know that having a tattoo and getting a tattoo done, especially with the process of them needling into your blood, which is going into your frequency, is making a covenant. You're making a pact with whatever symbol that you're choosing to do. And I'm letting you know, family, that every time you get a tattoo, you are making a blood covenant with whatever that symbol or whatever that image that you're choosing represents. And remember, every symbol, every image has dual sides. There's a flip side to everything, whereas the Ankh may mean life. If you don't resonate with the frequency of the Ankh, on the life side, you will take on the attributes of the death, the side of descent, death, depreciation. Many people get Ankhs thinking, oh, I'm a rocket Ankh and I'm going to pull in that frequency. There's two different sides to every coin. And if you are not resonating with the frequency of that symbol, and remember, we change and evolve. So where you may represent that symbol and do well with you may represent or be part of the frequency of the symbol when you first get the tattoo, but you evolve and change, and maybe you don't resonate with that symbol 5 years later or 6 months later, what have you. So now you have a symbol representing life, and then a couple months later your frequency lowers and you're only representing the symbol on the flip side, the inversion side of it, and representing death or depreciation or descent. People, I want you to start really making mindful decisions not to make blood covenants with anything. And the tattoo industry is booming right now because it's forcing people to make covenants with entities and with covenants with entities and with people and with symbols that will further bind you. Sorry, it's like a garbage truck outside. I know it's such a beautiful day, and it's like a truck passing by. Anyway, yeah, I'm at a beautiful park right outside. I love this swing, so I like to come on here, make the swing. I'm sorry, I go on tangents. Yeah, you might be making contracts with symbols and people and deities and occult organizations and not realize it. By getting a tattoo, you're making a blood covenant agreement with a symbol. And you should not do that. I mean, back in the days, our indigenous families did have symbols on them. Usually they weren't symbols that stayed on you for years. I mean, you get tattoos, that's embedded into it goes into your dermis, it penetrates your skin, and it stays on you forever. Unless you get it removed, and that's a process in itself. But it still has permeated through the dermis and has entered your bloodstream, which is making a blood covenant. So I don't even know that you can even break that contract with whatever symbol you put on, whether you erase it or not. And let's get into something else. Another blood sacrifice that women are doing and not realizing it. And again, this is a conversation that rarely you'll hear anybody talk about, is when a woman gets pregnant and she's decided to end the pregnancy based on whatever. Maybe she didn't want to get pregnant, maybe it was an accident, maybe the gentleman that has impregnated her is not conducive or doesn't want the child, and it forces her to make a very sad decision to terminate the pregnancy, which is basically killing that life force. And in doing so, Planned Parenthood, their spot's been blown because they've been selling unborn fetus material, DNA material, to outside sources. But what you didn't know is that that's a blood sacrifice that you're giving your baby to entities. They're feeding off of that blood sacrifice. That's blood sacrifice. Every time you get an abortion, you are making a blood sacrifice to entities that will not only just utilize the energy of that baby when the baby dies, because it is a life force, but you are also giving that blood sacrifice to outside entities when you sign that contract, when you go to an abortion clinic and you sign that waiver that most of you won't read because it's such a traumatic experience to go in and get an abortion anyway. So you quickly sign it and just get the procedure done and go about your business. Women, you're making a blood sacrifice to deities and entities and these people and donating your child, your DNA, to those, and you're not even acknowledging it. First of all, you know how I feel, and this is not a judgment, because again, I would say I'm a woman of a certain age, and I myself have, made decisions in my life that probably I would have never done had I known 90% of the things I know now. But in that itself, you are agreeing to harm your child, your energy, something that your energy force that's used to create life, and terminate it, and unbeknownst to you, give that life force to another entity that's feeding off of your creation. We have to make better choices. And my advice to my young sea stars and my old sea stars, to all alike, is to start to make decisions with who you partner with. I'm big on that. And again, if you're mating with someone who you wouldn't want to have a child with, who would never want to have a child with you, you should not be having sexual relations with them. You should only partner with those that, if life was created between the two of you, it would be an exciting and wonderful experience. It would be something desired by both. only mate with those who want to share in the creative process of creating a child. I'm not saying that you're going to want to have a child, but only have sexual liaisons with or mate with. I say mate because you shouldn't be just having random sex. We talked about frequency and everything like that with the yoni, clearing the yoni, but you should only choose to be with males, and males, you should only choose to be with females that you can see yourself partner having a child with. And if that child came about, that creation would be beautiful to you. It would be something that you desired, and it would be okay. Stop sleeping with people that you wouldn't even want to have children with, or wouldn't want to have children with you. You really have to make those, it shouldn't even be a big decision, because I want you to start loving yourself enough to only be with those who love you on the deepest and most divine levels. But if you're going to have exchanges and mating with others, make sure they're people that you would want to have, that you can see the combination of the two of you together. And you'd be okay with that if a child was manifested. Because by engaging with someone and then creating a life force and terminating that life force, you and yourself are creating karma for yourself. And I know that, I'm a firm believer. I'm pro-life in all forms. I think all life exists. I like bugs, animals, and everything. I think everything has its place. So I'm not saying and judging you in that point, but you're going to have to start to think about things long term rather than short term, because they're really messing. The Matrix really has a way of creating a smokescreen around certain things, and also they'll make it seem like casual sex is okay, but in itself, all the responsibility, at least at this point, divine femininity is coming in, so that responsibility will now go upon men as much more than before. But all that responsibility is on the woman, and you're going to have to be mindful and make decisions long term about yourself and about creations. Any creation, that divine creation that comes from you, from your womb, should be beautiful and accepted and celebrated. Don't make blood sacrifices, and don't give your child to these deities who are utilizing that energy, your child's energy, and you don't even know it. Whether the child lives or not, because when you get an abortion, you're not even aware of what happens to that. Well, now we are, because they blew the spot of Planned Parenthood and them selling DNA, aborted fetuses to outside, facilities. Why are they selling it, and where is it going? Do you even know that? So women, my sea stars, my brothers, start making mindful decisions with what you do with your body, whether it's putting a symbol on yourself. If you don't resonate with the symbol on both sides, don't get something permanent. I'm a fan of hennas and wonderful, adhesive tattoos that for the moment they resonate with you and they fade away and can be removed and replaced with something else. Getting something so long term that cannot be removed and you have to hold that energy, and if you don't, you're getting the flip side of it. That's not a smart decision. I would really think about that. If you've done it already, this is the conversation you should just hear, maybe before you decide to get any more. But also, partaking with partners that are unhealthy, or that you wouldn't want to see the manifestation of two of you together. You wouldn't want to see that. Why would you allow that entity to even enter your yoni space? Why would you let him utilize your life force between your legs, and then when something's created, he no longer wants to have that manifestation show up? It says a lot about how he feels about you. My personal opinion is you should only have relations and interaction sexually with those who would be okay with a beautiful combination between the two of you, men and women. Stop sleeping with people who would not want to have a child with you, if that beautiful creation came about. Anyhow, I'm out here. I want to go for a walk for a little bit in nature, so I just want to make this video because I felt it was necessary right now to talk about some of the decisions we're making, and we don't realize who and what may also be benefiting from something that we didn't even know could be a plausibility. And also tonight, you know, I'll be on Aquarius rising, 9th gate, and I'll be talking about the divine male. I'm really going to go into the magic stick. It's called the Penis Chronicles. Yes, it is. But I really want to show some honor to the magic wand and how powerful it is, and how we should have a good, healthy relationship with the male counterpart and his divine sexual energy in a very healthy, cohesive way. I think we don't give males that honor, and because the divine femininity is coming in, is odd. When patriarchal system was ruling, men just obsessed with women, our bodies and everything. But now, as the divine feminine energies come in, I feel such an appreciation for the males. I feel like I can honor what they have to offer and to share with us and this new energy that's coming in. Anyway, I love you. I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm sorry I would make a longer video, but you know, sometimes I just want to enjoy the day, enjoy all the beautiful nature. So I'm gonna leave you guys right now and go and take a little bit of a walk. I'm gonna go down that trail over there, and maybe I'll get to meet some of our ancestors here. All right, so I love you. Take care and peace.